Okay, so I don't really know how to start this video. It's going to be very different from the normal kinds of videos that I do. And that's because it's real talk and it's just me one-on-one with you, being completely raw and open and honest and transparent. I would be doing a huge disservice if I didn't use my ability to reach so many people to talk about real issues and to make some sort of change or difference. So as hard as this is to do, to sit here and talk about my own experiences and feelings and my history and the things that evoke such heavy emotions and feelings and memories, it's all worth it if I'm able to just help one other person. I want to convey real messages. I want to talk about real things, and I want to be able to use the reach that I have to impact people in a good way. So today I'm going to be talking about depression and my own history with it as well, and how I've managed to overcome it, and now I'm one of the happiest people that I know. So I don't want this video at all to be a sob story, and I don't want sympathy because of it, and I don't want the attention at all. I'm literally only going to share this with you, as hard as it is to talk about, even though I'm now okay. It's still difficult to admit out loud, so I'm only sharing it with you in the hopes that it would help at least one other person, because if I'm able to help just one other person, then it is entirely worth it. So yeah, let's do this. The current statistic is that 121 million people worldwide suffer from depression, and that's a really big number. Depression is such a prevalent issue, and I don't want to talk about materialistic things like what I ate in a day or how to do my makeup routine or anything like that. I want to talk about real messages and things that are going to help and support people. Depression affects so many people, and it's about time that we start talking about it out loud and neutralizing the negative stigma surrounding it. It's about time that we remove the embarrassment and the shame that comes along with it. And I think it's about time that we accept that not being okay is okay. It's okay to not be alright all the time. It's alright to need help and to ask for support. It's about letting people know that they're not alone, because you're not alone. You are not alone. If someone tells you that they think they're depressed, chances are they're not just asking for sympathy, or they're not fishing for compliments, or they're not looking for attention as much as it may seem like they are. If someone tells you that they are feeling depressed or down, if someone is willing to tell you that and be honest with you, chances are that they are desperately seeking for support. Take that as a compliment, if anything, that they're willing to confide in you about something so serious and such a heavy issue in their life. And if you aren't able to provide them with the support or the care that they need, then please, 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 please do not criticize them about coming to you with that information. Don't judge them. Just help them, support them, and if you can't support them, then help them to get the support that they actually do need. Help them to get professional assistance. I'm normally a very bubbly, happy, vibrant, or colourful person, I suppose. And I am nowadays, I really am, except that wasn't always the case. When I was 16, I ended up in hospital a few times, in multiple different hospitals and psychiatric wards, for depression and attempted suicide. My parents have been together for 25 years. My family's absolutely wonderful. I love my family so much. I literally have nothing to complain about in my life properly. I have a good education. I've always had a good home over my head. I've always had yummy, delicious, healthy, balanced food in my tummy. I've had good relationships. I have nothing that is obviously wrong with my life, and nothing that I ever have been able to complain about. And I still managed to get depression, which is what seemed to make it worse for me. It was like I've been given every single blessing in this world, and I still couldn't be happy and thankful for that. It isn't a selfish thing. Being depressed isn't a choice. It isn't something that you wake up and you go, I'm going to be depressed because people are going to care more about me. It's like you don't want them to care because you don't feel you deserve it. And it's like you don't want to exist because you can't stand the way that you feel. You can't stand the sound of your own breath. You feel heavy and you feel like you are a burden to absolutely every person in your life. You feel like you have nothing to offer. And I assure you that that is not the case. I assure you that you are loved and that you are freaking beautiful and that you have so much to offer. And that just because you can't see that doesn't mean that it's not there. Just because you think that you are flawed and that you're missing things and that you are incapable or stupid or that you're told that you are those things, you aren't. You are so much more than what you even realize. You're so much stronger than you realize and braver and more courageous. And you have so much to give to other people that if you were to just disappear, do you understand how many people would be impacted by that? Regardless of the fact whether you can even count them on one hand. It's worth to stay there for just those people, for even just one person. If you are finding it that hard to stay alive right now and to not attempt to kill yourself, or that you are feeling that there is no other way out, do it for your mum, do it for your sister, do it for your dog. Just stay there for one more day for one other person. Do it for me. Do it for a teacher or a friend, because you are so important and so valuable to other people. And just because you can't see that doesn't mean that you are not. And as hard and as foreign as the concept may seem, that you're going to be happy again one day and that you're going to be able to remember what it feels like to be genuinely happy and to smile and to laugh, because having depression, you literally forget what it feels like to be happy. I remember I had a conscious thought one day. I was driving in the car and I was like, I can't remember what happiness feels like. I can't remember the last time that I genuinely smiled. And no one knew that I was depressed. Everyone thought that I had a perfect life and that I was happy all the time. And looking at my life, it would have appeared that way. The only thing that would have seemed like there could have been something wrong with me was my own insecurities. And that's common for most teenage girls, so why would there be anything wrong with me? And that's what made it worse, the fact that I had every reason to be happy and I still felt unhappy. I thought I had no purpose, and when I tried thinking about the future, it scared me. I was terrified because when I thought about it, I would end up in this circular ruminating thought. It's like a big heavy shadow that just follows you around, and it'll sit on you when you sit down, and it makes it impossible to get up. It makes you lethargic and tired and grumpy and moody but numb at the same time. It's like you can't find any sort of passion and care. You don't have anything, you don't have any strive or determination, and it makes the act of simply getting out of bed or breathing seem like the most impossible task in the whole world. It makes seeing friends impossible because you don't have the energy to, you can't be bothered. And that sounds so stupid, because it's like if you're upset, you need your friends. Why would you not want to see them? And it's sometimes like, if it gets bad enough, it's like you don't think that you deserve their care. Or maybe they have their own problems and they don't care about yours, or that you don't want them to care about yours. Because somehow, deep down, depression becomes your friend and you confide in it, and it's a way of escaping reality. I used to sleep for up to like 12 to 16 hours a day, just because to me it was a way of escaping reality, and it meant that if I was asleep I didn't have to feel. I remember I became so upset at one point that I tried to kill myself. I remember I was convulsing on the ground, and I remember just thinking, like, make it stop, make it stop. And I wasn't talking about the convulsions, I was talking about my breath, about my life. It was that I couldn't stand feeling the way that I was, and that seemed like the absolute only escape. And it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't, and I wish I knew that at the time. I wish I had gone to someone and asked for help or support, because at the time I didn't feel like anyone would understand, and I didn't feel like anyone would care, or if they did care, that they shouldn't, that I wasn't worthy or deserving of their love, that I was inadequate. I used to repeat to myself that I was pathetic and worthless and useless. And those three things over and over: you're pathetic, you're worthless, you're useless. And I'd seen about 20 different doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, hypnotherapists even. The only time I actually started to get better was when I decided within myself that I didn't want to feel that way anymore, and that I didn't have to, because killing myself wasn't the only way out. And after seeing the way that my family was impacted and felt after they thought they were going to lose me, it's something that I'm never going to forget. And I couldn't possibly ever do that to them again, because you mean so much to the people in your life that you can't understand. Them losing you is the single worst thing. I remember being in the psychiatric ward for, I think it was a month or so afterwards, as an inpatient, which meant that I slept there, I stayed there, and they felt that it was essential that I was watched 24/7. I remember my brothers coming to see me one of the first days that I was in there, and I had a really good relationship with both of my brothers when I was younger, but then from the age of like 5 until 15 or 16 when I was in the hospital, the middle brother and I weren't very close at all. We were kind of worst enemies and always picked at each other. And I remember him coming in and crying and hugging me, and that was one of the biggest turning points for me. And I just broke down because it was exactly what I needed. And until then, I never realized just how important I was to my family. Like I said, it's not going to be quick, it's not going to be instant. It'll be firstly about recognizing the small things, about trying yoga, trying new things, trying to meet new people, and as daunting as that may be, I promise you it is not as bad as you think it's going to be. It is not going in reality to be as bad as you had made it up in your head to be. So do those things, challenge yourself as hard as it seems to do, to even breathe or move. I promise you it'll be worth it. And that one day you will feel happy again, and that you'll find yourself laughing and enjoying moments with your friends or your family or even by yourself. You will be able to empathize with other people about it and hopefully help others and support them through their own challenges, except you will be able to see it from an outsider's perspective and you remember that you felt those things but no longer feel them and no longer have them as a detrimental impact in your life, and it's not going to influence you in such a way that it's horrible to live and it's horrible to wake up. This is really hard. Now I know that it wasn't a reason that I was unhappy. I had clinical depression, which means that it's not circumstantial. It doesn't depend on my situation or the seasons. It's when your body doesn't produce enough serotonin for you to feel the way that you should. So it's literally just chemicals and hormones that are misplaced or imbalanced, or your brain and body just isn't making enough of them. It's easy to treat, and it's just simply about understanding that that is why you feel the way you do, and that there is a treatment for it, and it's not going to go on forever. It's okay if you need medication. I really hope that you don't ever have to go through that. But if you do, it's not going to be forever, and it doesn't have to be forever. And I am now living proof that you can get through it. I thought there was absolutely no other way. I thought that ending my life was the only way to make the feelings go away. And it's not. It's absolutely not. As soon as I was prepared to go and ask people for help, and I was prepared to accept the support that was given to me, I began to see improvements. And it wasn't instant. It wasn't like a switch was flicked and I was instantly better. No, it took a lot of time and it took energy and effort, but it is so worth it. Life is worth it. It's even just the future, which sounds so lame, but it's like the not knowing what lies ahead, the fact that there could be so many incredible people and things and cultures and foods and places that you'll experience that you don't know of yet. It's like there is that much out there that if you were to end your life, you're completely missing out on that. And why would you want to do that? Don't you want to know what's out there? Doesn't the mystery of life intrigue you enough to hold on just for another day? But if you are living with depression and that is how it feels for you, then you need to understand that you are already the strongest thing in the whole world. Waking up and getting through a day, just another day, living with the thought that you want to kill yourself and that you're not worthy, is the hardest thing you will ever do. And you've been doing it every single day, which makes you the strongest, most courageous human there possibly could be. So you're not weak and you don't lack strength, and it's not that you're not courageous or that you're not worthy or that you're pathetic or worthless or useless. It's the complete opposite. It's that because you are capable of feeling those extreme dark thoughts, you are also capable of feeling the most extreme happiness and joy and passion. Because you can feel those extreme emotions, it also means that you're capable of feeling the most extreme pleasures. That has been the biggest gift. It's like getting through something that I didn't think I could get through has led to something so much better. And I know, I pinky promise you that you can do the same. I promise you that you can get through this and that you will get through it. And if you need support, then ask for it. Do not be ashamed or embarrassed, because there is absolutely nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed about. If you need help, that is okay. It is okay not to be okay all of the time. My life now seems completely happy and full of color and adventure, and it is, except that doesn't mean that it's always rainbows and smiles and sunshine. I mean, I try my absolute best to surround myself with things that help make me feel positive and happy, and to do the things that I love and to be with the people that I love. But that doesn't mean that that's all there is to my life. I mean, feeling down and feeling upset and guilty, or I guess regretful, is a completely healthy and normal part of living. It's you have to be able to feel those to be able to feel happy also, because if you don't, how are you supposed to know what the other one feels like? Feeling unhappy occasionally is good, and it means that when you feel happy, it'll make it feel so much better. So you can't or you shouldn't diagnose yourself or anyone else with depression. It's something that only a doctor should be able to diagnose. However, if you do have any symptoms of depression, then I do recommend that you do go and see a doctor just to get their opinion. So things like fatigue, empty, numb, sad, teary, angry, irritable, on edge, moody, any negative thoughts or beliefs, especially about yourself or your attitude, maybe even recurring thoughts about death or dying, loss of interest in friends and activities, if you're finding it hard to remember things, or you're having like a clouded mind, or you're zoning out a lot, finding it hard to concentrate, sleeping too much or not enough, anything that feels abnormal and for an extended or prolonged period of time. Just go to see your doctor, because if it is depression, they will be able to diagnose you with that and be able to provide you with any kinds of support that you need. Depression isn't something that you choose. It's something based on either a chemical or hormone imbalance. It could be genetic. It could have to do with the situations in your life. It could be caused by a medical condition or disability, chronic pain, stress, abuse, bullying, any kind of traumatic event. If you feel that you may have depression or someone close to you has depression, please talk about it. Please just talk to someone, ask for support, provide support, be a shoulder to cry on someone's shoulder, whatever you feel like you need. It's okay. It is a illness that can affect your body, mind and soul. and it's a serious illness that doesn't discriminate. So it doesn't care what background you have, what color skin you have, what color hair you have. It affects people of all genders, cultures, stages of life. It doesn't discriminate depending on your background or your values or what you had for breakfast. Even the people who treat depression can have depression. Yes, I was prescribed antidepressants, but I also started to consciously make changes in my life that would help me to feel happy again and to be able to remember what living life properly actually felt like and meant. So I started looking for just little things that made me feel happy. Things like freshly washed sheets and the way that they feel in your skin, or seeing little kids laugh, or going to the beach and just smelling the fresh salty air, diving beneath the wave, or going for a bike ride and feeling the wind in your hair or the sun on your shoulders, or just going for a run in general. As hard as it is to get yourself out and moving, you feel so much better when you do, I promise you. Go for a walk, take some pictures, go play with your dog outside, go have a conversation with a stranger, go have a conversation with your neighbor, with a friend, with a parent, with a loved one. Read a book, write a book, force yourself to get out of bed, force yourself to smile, as hard as that is. Focus on the little things. Find what makes you happy and do it. Find the things that bring you joy and surround yourself with them. Surround yourself with people that make you feel happy, with the things that give you purpose and joy. Fill your life with things that you're passionate about, because passion is purpose. Just be generally kind to people. Work on leaving a legacy behind that you were proud of. Work on being remembered as the kind of person who's able to make a difference in not only your own life but other people's life. Work on being the kind of person who you would be happy to meet and who you are happy to be remembered as. You are actually going to be afraid of death one day. You're not going to want to die. It came at a time in my life that most teenagers, especially girls, find really hard. It's the kind of time where you search for things that give you purpose because you're not exactly too sure what defines you. I searched for purpose in all the wrong places. So I started altering things about myself that I thought would potentially bring me a sense of purpose or fulfillment. I tried veganism, I tried Buddhism. I felt like I needed to escape. So I felt like travel would be a good thing. So I dreamt of travel and I had the biggest wanderlust because I thought that if I could just get away to someplace beautiful, like all the things on the internet tell you, I just need some time in a beautiful place to clear my mind. As okay as that is to feel, it's not necessarily the answer, because for me, I was the problem. Escaping wasn't even an option because the problem was in my head, and running away wasn't going to fix that. And so when I did try to escape and like travel or something like that, every time I went away to a new place, I thought I would find happiness and I would become a different person and I would seek the things that I was looking for. I didn't find them. I didn't find the fulfillment because the problem wasn't the place that I was in or the friends that were surrounding me. It was the chemicals in my brain that I either did or didn't have. I now realize that escaping wasn't the answer. Whether it be running away or going somewhere new or seeking approval from new kinds of people, that's not the answer. The answer isn't in anyone else's eyes or a different place. It's within yourself, and it's about being okay with that and being content with the fact that you don't need to please anyone except for you. I got into yoga. I started using meditation as a form of therapy, using creativity as therapy. I started drawing and writing and expressing the emotions that I had, and I found that really beneficial, and I still find that useful, so I still do that. I still express myself through words and through art and photography, because that's something that makes me feel better, and getting it out of your body and into a physical form helps so much. I'm not saying that works for everyone, but if it does work for you, then do it. Find what makes you happy and what makes you feel better and do that. Even things as simple as treating your body right, so eating a healthy, balanced diet, drinking enough water, doing things that spiritually are enlightening or that bring you joy and happiness, things that emotionally bring you stability and comfort. It's about surrounding yourself with the people that make you feel good and the people that need you as well, because it's not just about needing other people all the time, it's also about being that person for others. Exercising is so important as it releases endorphins. Endorphins make you feel good. Legally Blonde, and she's like, exercise brings you endorphins and endorphins make you happy. Happy people just don't shoot their husbands. They just don't. And it sounds so simple, And that's because it is. It really is that simple. Just about doing the things that you love and surrounding yourself with people and things that make you feel joy. And to me, joy is the feeling of grinning on the inside. So it's things that make you feel alive. I'm sorry that this has been a much longer video than I had anticipated, and that I broke down a few times because it was actually a lot harder than I thought. I sincerely apologize for that, but it has actually made me realize as well just how much I've grown and how much I'm going to continue to grow, and how much I want to be able to help others to be able to feel and do the exact same thing. And I know that there's probably 1,000 things that I've forgotten to mention in this video because there's so much to it and there's so many things that go through your mind. If I forget anything, I'm going to put it down in the comments below. I guess in summation, I need to put it out there that if you or someone you know is suffering depression, or you think might be suffering depression, please just do not criticize or judge, okay? It's not their fault and they're not intentionally doing that or feeling those things. It's an illness and it should be treated in such a way. And I'm hoping this video in some way will actually help to reduce the negative social stigma surrounding it and surrounding talking about it and verbalizing these emotions, because they are so common. And if you have depression, you are not alone. I promise you, you are not alone. There's organizations and even like helpline numbers that you can call and talk to people, even as anonymous, so that you don't have to feel ashamed or embarrassed about admitting who you are. And they can give you the guidance and support that you'll need. So either go to a doctor or call one of these numbers below, or there's multiple websites, I'll put those in the caption as well. It's just about finding a source that you're okay with being open and honest with, because ultimately that's the only thing that's going to help you, is admitting that one, you feel that way, and two, that you want help. And you'll start slowly and gradually feeling better, and you'll start smiling again, and you'll start remembering what it feels like to feel joy and happiness. I wake up excited now. I wake up looking forward to the sunshine and looking forward to what lies ahead and the mystery of a day. Like, stupid as that sounds, I love it. I love waking up and not knowing what lies ahead, because that excites me. That's what I want to do with this channel and with the voice that I now have to reach so many people on social media, is that I want to help them and I want to show the happiness that you can feel too and the beauty that the world has. And that's, I'm hoping, is what I'm conveying through all my social media channels. And I hate ending videos because I never know how to do it. So I'm sorry for the awkward ending, except that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. And I'm hoping that me being this vulnerable and transparent with you will in some way help at least one other person.